we confusing equality of opportunity with trying to guarantee equity in outcomes? Okay, that's interesting, because I think this word equity has come into the language in the last few years, and before that we didn't hear it a lot. And I think a lot of people hear equity and they hear equality. I think it's the same word, and it's not the same word in the same concept. So how would you differentiate between equity and equality?
Well, equality, we talk about, I don't know what the answer to that is. Come to think of it, equality is equality of opportunity. All right? We live in a society, we want all people to have whatever color your skin is.
Equity, I think, is more guarantee of outcome, is it not?
I think so. I think that's
okay. So which side do you come down
on? Equality.
Equality.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Just in case anybody is concerned that might be a deep fake or something, no, that was actually Bernie, Neo-Marxist Sanders, the Demonic Socialist. Oh, sorry, he calls himself a Democratic Socialist. Democratic Socialist. Yes, he's a Demonic Socialist, and yet here on Bill Maher's show, he sounds outright normal. He sounds like he's voicing the opinion that I believe, and at least I hope, the vast majority of Americans embrace the idea that they embrace it if they understand the difference between equality and equity. And unfortunately, the left has done a fantastic job over the last decade conflating the two and kind of merging them together and making them sound like this and that. But really, they are promoting equity, which is, of course, having the sameness of outcomes, versus equality, which is having the sameness of opportunity. Okay, with equality, doesn't matter whether you're black or white or Hispanic or Asian. As long as you're an American citizen, you have equal opportunities. Doesn't matter if you're male or female or any of the other various 57 Heinz varieties of genders that they try to impose upon us. None of that makes a difference in equality. As long as you're an American citizen, you should have essentially equal rights and equal opportunities to achieve or not achieve. You don't have to achieve in a world, a society that embraces equality. Whereas when you're dealing with equity, which the radical left has been pushing now, again, they've been pushing it for a long time, but they've really been pushing it hard for the last decade or so. Equity is about equalness of outcomes. Doesn't matter whether you deserve something, your merits, your hard work, none of that matters. It only matters what the color of your skin is. It only matters what gender or sexual orientation or other protected class of intersectionality you're able to claim on your report. The more, the better. Oh, if you're a white male, oh goodness, no, you don't get stuff. You don't deserve it. Not based upon your actions, not based upon your history, not based upon your intellect, your merits, or anything like that. You don't get it because you're a white male. Especially if you're straight, especially if you're not transgender or any part of the LGBTQIA plus supremacy alphabet soup that they have put together. And that was Bernie Sanders pushing for equality. Is he crazy? Did something happen? No, I think the truth just came out. I mean, even the worst communists of today, and the worst communists even when Bernie Sanders was a young man, they understood that it only worked. Communism can only work in a small scale. Okay, it can work, by the way. I mean, to be clear, that you can have literally very tiny communes of 30, 50, 100 people, and they can be effective as long as everybody within the unit is working towards the common goal. I'm not endorsing it by any means. I'm just saying that communism at a small scale can work. You can put together a commune, get you a few acres of land, give everybody equal housing in that land, give everybody the same basic job responsibilities, and tell them they all work together and nobody has to earn anything, because it's all part of the community. That's communism in a microcosm, and that can possibly work. You get it any bigger than that, and it won't work. Why? It breaks down. Because of human nature, it breaks down. Because it's a flawed concept. Karl Marx knew this. Bernie Sanders knows this. And yet they still push it because there's a separate agenda that is associated with neo-Marxism. That's the agenda of elitism. True neo-Marxism, if you were to give them all truth serum and force them to tell you what the actual end goal is, it's yes, they want all of the serfs, all of the common people to be equally miserable, equally oppressed, And then the elites will be able to tell them everything they need to do, and they'll work for them, and they'll own everything, and everybody else will own nothing and pretend like they're happy. That's the end goal there. It's not about everybody being equal. It's about everybody at the top having everything and the rest of us having nothing. And again, Bernie Sanders knows this, but he still promotes it. At least he did until just now, Friday night on Bill Maher's show. Now all of a sudden he's saying the wrong things, and of course he'll probably get canceled. But even if he doesn't get canceled from that, that wasn't the only thing he said. I don't have a clip of it, but apparently, according to Daily Caller, Harold Hutchison over at Daily Caller says, Independent Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont said Friday night that the Democrat Party abandoned the working class in favor of, quote, beautiful people, indirectly referencing Hollywood and corporations. Bill Maher said, you say like they abandoned their cause to the beautiful people. Who are the beautiful people? And Sanders says, hey, Bill, you look really beautiful tonight here in L.A. Here's the point. The point that I was making is that when FDR was president, when Truman was president, even when JFK was president, you go out on the street and you say to people, which party represents the working class in America? Most people, I think, agree, would have said the Democrat Party. Today, you go out on the street, that is not the sentiment. In fact, the Republican Party probably has more adherents than the Democrats, and that's so very true. I mean, we saw that in Florida. And during the 2022 election, we saw it obviously in the 2016 and the 2020 elections, presidential elections, despite the odd results of the 2020 election. It was true that the working class people, they flocked to Donald Trump, not to Mr. 5 decades in DC, Joe Biden, not to Hillary Clinton and her decades of corruption and evil. No, they didn't go after the elitists. They went after the guy who was the billionaire. Yeah. So in many ways, he was elite, but he wasn't an elitist. He was down to earth. He wanted to fight for the common man, which is what he did for 4 years. And hopefully he'll do it again for another 4 years at some point. We will see. But I digress. Point being is that Sanders is absolutely right there. He was right about equality. You should embrace equality, not equity. He's right that the Republican Party now is the party of the working class. Always has been, by the way. There was just a lot of misinformation way back when. You know, that the truth is coming out. You could actually say that the internet and social media can be attributed for this shift where the common people are now coming to the understanding that, hey, the Democrat Party really is the party of big business. It really is. We're seeing obviously with Ukraine, the Democrat Party is the party of warmongering. We're seeing the true colors of the Democrat Party come out, and that didn't sit very well with Bernie Sanders. So maybe he's losing. Maybe the dude's getting red-pilled. Probably not, considering how far to the left he has always been, and considering his age. You know, can't teach an old dog new tricks, but you never know. Maybe, just maybe, with enough truth, enough reality slapping him in the face, even Bernie Sanders could get red-pilled.